Welcome back my YouTube channel. Let's learn English with Khushi. So here we are going to read Truth Without Apology by Acharya Prasant and chapter 89. In previous video I have done chapter 80 and a little bit 89 also, but not completely. So uh, um yeah, and yet look at the irony. People proudly talk of what good habits as if unconscious repetitions can ever be a good. For a Jen, not eating meat is called a good habit. For someone else, butchering animal on festivals is the same good habit. Same actions, different slogan, same blindness. Do you really know why you refuse meat? Do you really know why you grab blood? Or are you just recycling what was stuffed into your head before you could think for yourself? That is a habit, something you do every day, but have never once examined. Can anything unconscious be called good? When you label it as a good habit, you are just putting perfume or ignorance. Recognize this without flinching. No habit is a good habit. No habit is a harmless. Habit is the silent killer of intelligence. It makes you dual, mechanical, predictable. When you truly understand something, habit dissolves. When you see clearly, no pattern can control you. So start paying ruthless attention. Watch yourself in small things and big ones and ask, am I doing this because I am fully alive or because I am already half dead? Now, chapter 19 is stay uncertain, stay alive. It's better to be confused while inquiring, experimenting, investigating than to live in the false confidence. Not one know itself. You don't need confidence, you need honesty and inquiry. You need inquiry, you honesty. It's a better to suspend confident and conclusions than to be a falsely confident. Most people you find radiating confidence might actually be using confidence to mask insecurity or ignorance. So remain and inquire, accept that when things are uncertain and knowledge is incomplete, one can still be alright. Accept that inquiry needs to continue and conclusion should be a postponed. Inquiry is a difficult and uncomfortable because the mind wants quick settlements. It resists staying with uncertainty and unpredictability. It wants to quickly certify itself in binary, the fact of life or otherwise. They demand rigorous inquiry and continuous attentions. We idolize those who emphatically say, I know. We don't much like those who say, I am trying to know, because our emphasis is on success, on results, and then consuming the results. And we work at intentions to quickly extract happiness from the results with such an intent. Obviously, the process of inquiry does not remain enjoyable. Joy lies in the inquiry itself, or does joy lies in concluding, closing, or arriving? Is it in a easy and often first destinations or in traveling rightly? It's alright if you don't come across as a very confident persons. Remain a spectacle of conclusion. Keep traveling. If there is no joy in the journey, how can there be joy in life? Chapter 91, the blabber we call life. Oh, our entire existence is saved by hollow concepts fed to us, yet we continue to act as though we truly understand them. These words are the foundations of every step we take. You act because you think you are responsible. You clinch because you think it is a love. You stay because you think there are duty to fulfill. You crave a future you don't understand. You compromise because you think a relationship must be saved. We base our lives on words like love and responsibility, yet we rarely ask what they truly means. Every breath is lived, stopped, the stop this borrowed assumptions, and that is not just unfortunate, it's a tragic. Just observe how people converse, look at them. You will feel tempted to exclaim, what kind of madhouse is this? Is babbling nonsense to be without fantastic idea of what he is saying? B notes solemnly and replies, equally clueless, neither knows where their thoughts, words, or impulses come from. Yet a speaks with convictions, and B notes with understanding. As this spectacle of mutual ignorance doesn't prevent either from feeling a sweet glow of connections. At the end of it, they will declare they are in love. A fresh drama begins, and what kind of children will this examined union produce? It only gets more grotesque from here. So let's spare ourselves the rest of the horror. Now, chapter 92, why motivations fails. You don't need motivation, you need realizations. You don't need a push, you don't need to pull, you need the source, the one that powers from within, and it's already there. You have simply forgotten the key. All motivation is external. Someone says if you fiery words, and suddenly you feel a urge. You watch an inspiring film, and you feel charged. You read a story and you feel moved. But what is really happening here? An external force is acting upon you. You are reacting. That is not freedom, that is not clarity, this is not even your energy, it's borrowed, and what is borrowed can never last. The speech ends and the motivations vanish. The movie ends and the energy fizzles out. The book closes and so does your resolve. Even worse, one force pushes you in one direction, another in the opposite. Your father says one thing, the media says another. Your Guru says, a third woman, whom do you obey? You are pulled in 10 directions, none of which are truly yours. This is not a conscious life, this is a slavery to impressions. It's a confusion dressed as a passion. Real actions does not arise from motivation. Real rooted, vibrant actions arises from realization, from understanding, from the quiet power of intelligence. The external can at best take you back to yourself. That's all it can do, and that's enough because you can touch your inner source. No push is in. Real energy is not about hype, it is about seeing. And when you see clearly, you act rightly without the need to be pushed. Chapter 93, why self help doesn't help. Who can call self help is often just the ego desperate survival strategy. Helping the self is futile, seeing through its liberations. Most of self help is about helping your ego to protect itself. The ego wants to protect itself from the consequences of its flawed followed existence and ignorance. That's such protections is impossible, but the ego believes that which other help from somewhere it might pull it off. When a law demand for help exists, there is bound to be plenty of opportunities supply as well. That is the concept and initial of self-help. Shouldn't we ask, what is the self that self-help seeks to help? Who are you and who am I? And since I do not quite know what I am, who I am, maybe that is the reason I am running around with 100 issues seeking solace in a self-help. Among other place book, self-help spawns books, seminars, videos, methods, but do they ever tell you what your own nature and reality is? How is it possible to help the self without knowing the self? It may be possible given the terrible state of self that you need not self help but dissolutions but self dissolutions. Behind the sophisticated facets and the clever turns of phrases, the raw self help philosophy basically is I am sad because my desires stand unfulfilled. So, fulfilling desires is the way to help the self. They won't tell you that fulfilling desires is nowhere. The same thing is as fully yourself. Therefore, self help, please, but doesn't help. It is not then self help. The general should be correctly called self gratifications. If you want self gratifications as well, all do, then there are so many means and ways available. People enter themselves, drink, take to narcotic, go high on money, on power, hunt for carnal pleasures. These are all ways in which we try to help the self by fulfilling its desires. Unfortunately, these ways don't work. Self help is an attraction but not beneficial. Real self help lies in understanding the nature of the self by honest self observation, and from this observation, goodness follows spontaneously. Freedom from positivity. When you reject your weakness, you no longer need positive thoughts to prop you up. Pos- Positivity often conceals fear. True freedom is when positivity becomes redundant. For you to call something positive, there must first be a center and origin, a frame of reference. Depending on where that center is, one thing becomes positive and another negative. But our centers are conditions, personal and egoic. That's why every person has a different definition of what is a positive or negative, because their center differs. So the words positive and negative become not just relative but often misleading and dangerous. When we call something positive, are we not usually saying that it pleases our ego? The ego rushes towards what it finds agreeable, and but ego never walks along. It always brings duality wherever that is activities. Positivity is negativity follows. Wherever there is positivity, negativity is not far behind. In chasing the positive, one unknowingly invites its shadow. The more the ego craves pleasure, the more it opens itself to pain. What feels positive today may appear hollow or even harmful tomorrow. And in this constant swing between what please and what displeases, so much of your energy is drained. Positive and negative both arise from the ego center. They are not truths, only fleeting moods of a shifting mind. Why run after what is so fleeting? You chase positivity only when haunted by negativity. When afraid, anxious, or disturbed, you reach for positive thoughts like a medicine. But what if you were so deeply assured, so anchored, anchored that you didn't need any positive reinforcement at all? The very demand for positivity rebuilds inner fear. True peace is when you are so seated in something real, something unshakable, that you don't require external support, not even in the form of a confront positive thoughts. Reject all vices, including the internal one. That to say you are incomplete, insecure, or lacking, you do not need any crutches at all support. People, affirmations, ideas, or themselves weak. They need you more than you need them. Depending on anything outsider from your peace will only prolong your unrest. From inner ignorance arises the demand from positivity is freedom. From demanding is freedom from positivity. Now, chapter 95. Courage without clarity Chapter 95. Courage without clarity is hysteria. Clarity is the courage that doesn't need a crowd. It is not really about courage, it's about clarity. Courage about often often comes cheap. There are mental states where one appears fearless. There is nothing great but them, some greed, some wheat, a beat of alcohol, hormonal excitement, and people lose all fear. Suddenly, they become heroes in that age. They can challenging even the god of that three peaks down. You ask them to jump from a seven-story building for the sake of their holy pride, and many will. It is not courage that is the fundamental virtue. Clarity is. There are people who are courageous and people who are afraid. Would not I would not greatly